Hello everybody, welcome back to Leading Our Own Way. I hope you've had a great week, I hope you've had a great weekend. We're kicking off the brand new week with another amazing episode. As you know, I'm Andrew White and I am the host, and today's episode is a truly special one. We're kicking off a two-part journey with Diana Alsammouah, a single mother, coach and a force of resilience. Diana's story takes us from a challenging childhood in Syria through the complexities of life as a single mother in the UK and into her emergence as a powerful coach and advocate for women rebuilding after trauma. What struck me most in our conversation though is how Diana has taken her pain, bullying, toxic relationships, cultural challenges and transformed it into her purpose. She's not just surviving, she's leading, building her brand and creating a safe space for women to reclaim their lives. This episode is about strength it takes to turn adversity into action and the courage to help others find their own way forward. Before we dive in though, let's share a quick moment. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply reach out. Community isn't just support, it's really a lifeline. Today, if Diana's story moves you though, or you know someone who needs to hear this, please share the episode. And a quick note on that, only 45% of my listeners, you guys are actually following the show. So if you're finding value, please just go and press that button. It really does help us reach more and more people. And it helps us share the stories and the journeys, right? Anyway, let's get into part one of Diana's journey. Here's the trailer and here's myself and Diana. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way. I'm your host, Andrew White, and this is the podcast that unveils captivating narratives of resilience and personal triumph. This podcast is for anyone seeking inspiration and insights on overcoming life's challenges. Follow and subscribe, and then we can lead together forever. Before we dive in, I want to give a big, massive shout out to our now new proud sponsor, LOOW Skincare, a brand that truly aligns with Leading Our Own Way. This Australian-born company is dedicated to keeping skincare simple, effective, and straightforward. They've made waves in the US, even landed in Macy's and over 300 stores, and now they're back with a renewed focus on healthy skin and real results. If you want authentic skincare that fits your lifestyle, check them out in the show notes. Thanks to LOOW Skincare for supporting real stories and mental fitness on Leading Our Own Way. And if you're interested in sponsoring like LOOW Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to connect. We could just start off like that, just laughing about your name. That I'm having trouble. Not that your name's funny. I'm having trouble saying it.
Yeah, everybody does.
Do they?
Not by yourself. Yeah, that's what I. So the way to say it in obviously properly in Arabic is Alsammouah, but that letter is not in the English alphabet anyways. So that's why I say it. If someone wants to say it and they're not Arab, I would say Alsammouah, and then they're like, "Oh, it sounds French." I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
So it's already kind of manipulated so that it's a little bit easier to pronounce.
Well, I might just keep this bit in now. So, because you've explained
it's not French.
I like that. I'm going to keep that bit in. Well, welcome, Diana Alsammouah. Oh no, I've done it wrong. See, Alsammouah.
Right, well.
Welcome to Leading Our Own Way, Diana. Pleased to have you on the show. It's such an honour. Thanks. I know you're in England and it's 9 o'clock here in Melbourne in the morning, but thanks for staying up to join me on Leading Our Own Way.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I've been really excited to do this with you. So let's have a brilliant conversation. Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining. I always thank everybody for joining me on my journey, because this is part of my journey. And it's a safe space for people to talk, and it's a safe space for people to share their own individual journeys. Because as I always say to people, everyone's got a journey and every journey is worth sharing. So I appreciate you being part of my journey. It means the world to me. So, and we've been speaking for a couple of months now, and you've been giving me little tips on social media and stuff like that, which I'm still going to do. So don't worry and don't shout at me. I am gonna do it. I've just been so bogged down over summer here.
I know, I haven't forgotten.
I know you haven't, and I know you're going to warn me about it. But I'll have some time over the summer. We break up from school next week for the summer holiday, so exciting. I'll have some time. Yes. So,
I'm here if you have any questions to make it happen. So
love it. You are the woman for that job.
Yeah.
But for now, this is all about you. Thanks for joining me on Leading Our Own Way. You're on a bit of a mission. Tell us a little bit about how you're leading your own way then.
Yeah. Oh, love this question. I would say when I hear leading your own way, I would probably say turning your story or something that was really painful in your life that you have overcome and turned it into something that not only helped you overcome, but actually spread that awareness and healing and love to other people that can potentially also overcome the same struggles that you've faced. So I would say the way that I'm leading my way currently is through my coaching business and my personal brand and online platform where I share my story and I share my healing journey in terms of healing and rebuilding from a toxic and abusive relationship and changing my life and turn it into purpose and a brand and impact and showcasing that single motherhood is not a death sentence. Single motherhood is not something to be ashamed of. Healing from a toxic relationship and making a mistake, or yeah, just having something in your life that might not be with what everybody else sees as the normal, the expectations, doesn't define you, and it's nothing to be ashamed about. And my mission is to share as much of it to these women because they deserve to know that they're not alone, that they are seen, they are understood. Life doesn't end when you've been through something so traumatic. Life doesn't end when you become a single mom. You can totally heal and rebuild your life and really create an aligned and purposeful life for you and your kids. So that's what I'm so passionate about, and that's how I see that I'm leading the way. That I'm on this journey. There's never an end line. It's a constant healing, it's a constant growth, it's a constant, what can I do next for me and for the people around me and for my child. But it's also leading everybody else around me to see this is what's possible. I'm not perfect, but this is where I am now. And I want to take you, I want to show you the way so that you can also be on this journey with me. You don't have to stay where you are or think that this is the end of your story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I know we'll dig deep into that. And I'd love to get in the nitty gritty parts of your business and what you do on a daily basis. So we can hopefully we will give some insights to those people who are tuning in today. And because we come
Yeah.
across many different topics on this podcast, and this is one of them, right? So, and I'm sure we'll have that clientele tuning in. And if we can help them, that would be amazing. But before we do, personally to you, because what we try and do is intertwine obviously the personal journey of the guest into their purpose, and you've just nailed it in what you just said. Where,
Mhm.
before we get into the business though and what you do and how you do it, where are you going to take us today without obviously going into the details?
Mm.
What are some of the things that you've been through that you're going to take us on in the next hour or so, before we go into the business side of things?
I would say I think it's really powerful to touch on, like what you mentioned. So the story, maybe the way I would say I rebuilt my life twice, and that's what's led me to where I am today. I think it's one of the most important things that I've actually shared that actually allowed me to build what I've got right now, whether it's the business, whether it's a personal brand. And that's what I would love to probably share on here, because I know that it is going to help people that will probably resonate with some of the key parts of my life that led me to where I am today, whether it's in terms of how I am as a person, my values as a mom, as a coach, just as a friend, as a person in general. So I think touching on these key um, times in my life will definitely be something that I would want to share on this platform, on
Yeah.
on this podcast. Yeah.
Beautiful. So your mental health right now, then, if you had a scale of 0 being the worst and 10 being your contentment, where would you put
Mhm.
yourself on that scale right now?
What, a number or?
Yeah, 10 being you're content, you're happy, the best you've ever been, and 0 being rock bottom.
I think it's really difficult. I would say in terms of mental health, when, if we're looking at, I don't know, anxiety and super stress and all of these things, I genuinely feel like I'm on the higher scale just because of what I do every day right now, because I am doing something that I'm passionate about. But I am overstimulated because I am a single mom.
Yeah, it's
And
lived experience, isn't it?
yeah, and sleep deprived. So I would say that's but again, it's also because I'm passionate about doing so many different things. So it's like, there's sacrifices in life. So I am doing good. I feel fulfilled. I feel grateful. I feel blessed. Um, yeah, and it's because of the daily choices that I make every single day. As you
Yeah.
know, obviously not every day is amazing. Life happens. Um, we have challenges all the time, whether it's friendships, whether it's business, whether it's work, whether
Mm.
it's personal life. But I think having the right tools and the things that I've been able to learn has helped me so much in bouncing back rather than staying in a depressive mode. I've
Yeah.
actually recently gone through, I'm going to be super open about it actually, because mental health is so important and people don't see that through the screen sometimes,
Mm.
as much as I try to share on my social media, for example, that not everything's perfect, it's still you still don't see everything, obviously. You'll never be, no one will ever be sharing everything behind the scenes. But I did actually come out of an episode not too long ago where I was not feeling great mentally. And I think it's because I've been sick. I stopped training. I was sleep deprived, my son was getting sick, like so much has happened where the things that I used to do and I do to fill my cup up, to look after my mental health, to make sure that I'm looking after me, were not happening. Because obviously when you're sick, you're not really meant to be training. When you're sick, you don't really, you know what I mean? You just want to stay in bed and just rot. But then the longer it goes on, the more it becomes harder to get out of bed, to go back to your routine, to the things that actually help you
Yeah.
get out of that mental state. So I actually really struggled in that season, and I did speak about it briefly on my social media, and I was like, this is exactly why, especially as single moms, like self-care and doing anything for yourself, whether it's, I don't like anything, any ritual, doesn't have to be going to the gym, doesn't have to be anything crazy. But when you neglect that and you think it's okay, even when you're sick for so long, it's really going to affect everything. Like for me, it affected my creativity. I had a creativity block when it comes to creating content. I was more moody. I was more like of an angry, miserable mom. I was kind of antisocial. It just affects everything. It affects your energy, it affects your mood. And it just gave me that big realization of, especially as single moms, it's literally a non-negotiable. Like, I don't care how busy and crazy life gets, if you're not doing for me, it's exercise. It really keeps me sane. There's so many different things that obviously I do, but if I'm not moving and exercising, like, my mental health really gets affected.
Yeah.
So it just really, because sometimes you don't realize the impact and the importance of something until it goes away and you're like, oh, I
Oh,
thought life is easier without it.
yeah.
Clearly it's not. But it just taught me this lesson of, don't neglect yourself, don't, you know one of my, and another thing that might help someone, whether it's a single mom that might be struggling with this. One of my close friends is a single mom, and she's a stay-at-home mom to two kids. One of them is really young, and she can't go to the gym. And I gave her this YouTube link where you can work out for 7 minutes every single day, and you can literally do it like anywhere whilst your kids are playing, sleeping. And I used to do that when I had no support. And she's been doing it every single day, and her mental health has crazily improved.
Yeah.
And it's not really about just the movement, but it just shows that 7 minutes. Because I know I said to her, there's zero excuses for having 7 minutes to yourself.
Yep.
And she, you can pick obviously like more of a dancey workout. There's loads of like different options on the YouTube channel that I gave her. But it's become part of her daily routine. And she's like, oh my gosh, Diana, she sends me videos and she's like, my mental health. And she's not someone that exercises in general. She does go for walks, but sometimes it's hard with this weather to actually go for walks too. So it's also shown me that this, this is the thing that single moms really should consider as a huge priority in general. Like
Yeah.
you can't neglect self-care, and it
And
doesn't mean 20 step, skincare routine.
yeah. Oh, how many people are nodding their heads right now, completely agreeing with you? Absolutely. They're all doing it. Whether they're single mums, to be fair, I'm nodding my head because I'm agreeing with you. But anyone be like, you've got it easy, Andy. I'm like, no, but I find it like the struggle of getting up in the morning. And I live in Australia and it's pretty warm and it's nice. It's not the winter. I do see the difference. Like the winter, I struggle. In the summer, it's quite easy for me to get up, go for a dog walk in the morning before the day kicks off. I'll see myself doing press ups, sit ups, lifting a few light weights, getting into it. My mental health is, and what you just said about the creativity block, mate, I would never been able to do the creative side of a podcast 3 years ago. The talking, I've always been good at that, but the creative side and the artwork and the branding, at the old Andy White would not have been able to do this branding, purple, the wood, the logos, the reels that I make, nowhere near. But I swear to God, I started
Wow.
giving the body everything it needed in terms of food, in terms of sleep, in terms of movement. I mean, I've always been quite athletic in the sense of playing basketball, but put that aside, I didn't need that. Oh, well, I did need that, but I mean, I needed the walk, I needed the movement, I needed lifting the weights, and I saw my mental health change, and I'm out of it at the moment. Like I'm in the middle of kind of what you just said. I'm being open and vulnerable. I'm in that slump of not getting up when I know I would be better. I'm interviewing somebody called Cooper Chapman soon. He's a former world #1 surfer, and he's wrote a book called The 1% Club.
Oh wow.
The I wanted to bring a couple of points up whilst we're on it. It wasn't part of the plan, but the 1% Good Club, and he said 1% of the day is 14 minutes. You can make time. Forget the 14-minute thing, but you can find time to look after yourself for 1% of the day. When you word it like that, 1% of the day, 40 minutes, put to the side, like what you're doing about the business that you said off air. You started because you don't have any physical time in the day because of everything. It's so busy. You're sacrificing to launch it. And it's not necessarily a practice you'll do every day for the rest of your life, but to launch part of your journey, which we'll get into, you're sacrificing something in the middle of the night. You're creating that time, and then it'll fly, and you'll find a way to seep it into your daily life to keep it going. But we need it. It's just so. And the other thing was about what you said about your friend as well. I was listening to a human biologist not long ago, and he said, I've forgotten his name, and he said, would you die for your kids? The question goes to you, would you die for your kids, for your son? You would, wouldn't you?
Would you live for them?
Well, that's the thing. I was going to turn it around and said, well, would you change your diet for your kid? Would you change your sleep for your kid? Most people, when they frame it like that, they'll be like, God, yeah. But you, in the moment, living it, you still go and do all of those crappy things and sacrifice. But would you die for your kid? Of course I fucking would. Absolutely. Well, would you change your diet for your kid? And they go, oh, no, it's too hard.
Or they see it as selfish, but it's really not. And
That's
like
right.
what you said, it's not just for single moms. It's in general. You're being selfish because you're a dad, right? So you're looking after your health, your mental health, your physical health, even having a few minutes a day to do something that really pours into your cup, even if it is getting out and just getting your favorite coffee or whatever it is. It is for the people that you love, right? Because the more you look after yourself, the more you're gonna operate as a better husband, a better father, a better podcast host, like it just
I've got to live by the
at work,
values.
just everything. But I
Yeah.
do think that when life gets hard, and let's say seasonal depression hits, or some crazy challenge happens, because it happens all the time. Life will always be life, and something will always happen in general. But it's very easy to take that to kind of slip out of all of this and forget all of this and just think it's not worth it. I'm just gonna stay in bed and rot, and unless I have to get up for work, I am not gonna do anything. And like what you said, it happens to the best of us. I've just come out of that. I'm hoping and praying that you're obviously doing what what is good for you to also get out of that. But
That's right.
it's a journey.
It is a
I
journey.
don't
It's a
think
hell of a
anybody
journey.
it's really a journey. And
Yeah.
this is the thing with mental health, isn't it? I don't think it's ever like, I'm great now and that's it, and I've done the healing work.
No.
Well, no, you need to be prepared that sometimes thing's gonna hit you, but that's what I've learned from what it hit me. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
this is gonna happen, but I'm not gonna let it go on for so long because it's only gonna get worse. I
That's
just
right.
need to find these tiny small things, even speaking to a trusted friend, right? Like or consuming things that are actually good for your mind. There's so many things that you can do.
Yeah.
Obviously movement is one of them that will just get you out of it. It's like
Big
step by
time.
step. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you asked that question. I think it's really important to touch on it.
Yeah, I think so. And quite comes up quite a lot on this podcast is we talk about
Mm.
morning routines, right? And we've kind of just touched on it. I started doing cold plunges, and people will probably go, "Oh God, he's talking about it again." But cold plunges for me. I mean, we've been, if you think about it, we've been in cold water for millions of years. It's only since in the last few hundred years, we've invented, heating systems and whatnot. And obviously that's improved over time, but we've become what you said before. I think you touched on it briefly, but comfortability. I think comfortability is the acceleration of death. We're allowing
Yeah.
ourselves to be comfortable, and we've got to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, putting our body through, I think it's called hormesis, the cellular stress. And acute stress is always going to be there, but chronic stress for anybody, whether you're a high driving CEO, chronic stress will kill you if
Wow.
you keep that type of lifestyle going forever. And the foundations, we need to give our minds and bodies the foundations to, once we're filling the body with the nutrients it just needs as a baseline, we will hopefully then be able to thrive. So when something does go wrong in our life, what we can't control, at least we'll be better in a better position to be able to handle that negativity,
Yeah.
opposed to going deeper below that baseline into depression or whatever it may be. Because life's
Yeah.
tough, right? Life's tough, whether you're a single mother or you're a single mother doing what you're doing. I mean, it's
Mhm.
insane what you're doing. And obviously I'd love to talk about your purpose, really. Like, let's talk about your business and what you get up for every single day, apart from your son, because I know that's obviously a huge purpose, and it's going to come into this journey quite clearly. But what do you get up for every day? What do you do to help other people that touches close to your journey?
Yeah, so I actually still work my full-time job. So I do accounting and finance daytime. I travel 2 days a
Sorry.
week, and I have been taking my time. I think one of the reasons I still have my full-time job, even though I can technically leave and just do the business full-time, is
Yeah.
because I genuinely want to build it in a way where it is more impact focused rather than I just want to make the money under pressure. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to do it in not what people expect you to,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the whole point, right? It's my journey. So I've always been um I don't see many single moms or people talk about working full time and doing this on the side, but
Yeah.
it is possible, and sometimes it is it is actually a choice. I've seen business owners that leave their 9 to 5 and then they're so focused on just making the money, doesn't matter how, chasing clients, like being burnt out, especially if you're a single mom, being burnt out and having all this pressure on yourself, because obviously, let's be real, if you're a single mom or not a single mom, right, like you've got bills to pay, you've got things that you need to worry about. So I made that decision actually this year to be like, okay, because I'm so passionate about what I do right now. So like I said, I wake up every single morning and my purpose is to continue growing this personal brand and the business that I'm doing right now, which is coaching single moms and women healing from toxic relationships and rebuilding their confidence, potentially building their personal brands. And I wake up every morning, and I think that's why it doesn't affect me doing what I do for work, because I know that it's the plan in my mind that, okay, I am showing up nearly every single day in terms of creating content because I love it. I genuinely love it. I just love sharing snippets of whether it's value, whether it's story, whether it's just something that I've just experienced as a single mom. So this is one thing that I do nearly every single day, genuinely because I love it, even if the time is not there. The second thing that I do is obviously I've got coaching, one-to-one coaching clients at the moment, and I help them. So in my one-to-one coaching program, it's a little bit different from the community that I'm going to talk about. It's actually supporting single moms that have left toxic relationships, and they've done some healing work, right? They've invested in themselves before, but they still want more support in their healing to rebuild their confidence. And they actually want to pursue either their passions, their dreams, start a business, or build a personal brand. So I actually support them in like both aspects. So we're working on rebuilding your confidence and your healing to give you the foundations of actually being able to start following your dreams or building the personal brand or showing up, because there's a big thing of the fear of being seen, right? So we work on all of that, but then I also work with them on the strategy of what you're going to be doing very soon, sharing your story online, and creating from a place that fits in with your schedule, not well the way that I do it, right? Not what some people might be coaching on online. It's not just the strategy, right? It's a lot of it is the subconscious beliefs, because when you've gone through trauma or toxic relationships, you're probably going to be terrified of even thinking about pursuing your dreams or sharing your story, right? Because you don't feel safe. So this is the work that I do with my one-to-one clients, and it's been amazing, like seeing, like literally I've worked with one of my clients for 2 months only, and she came to me purely just to heal from attracting like narcissistic abusive partners and toxic relationships. And then after 2 months, she's now wanting to build a personal brand. Like, it's insane.
Love that.
But this is the power of obviously having the right mentor and having the confidence to pursue dreams. So this is the work that makes me sacrifice sleep and wake up every single day and just never get tired of it. And you know how it is, right, with entrepreneurship or with doing something outside of the system and the 9 to 5. Like, you get so many days where you're like, I just want to give up. I've had this, like, I've actually, and this is how if something is like genuinely purpose led and you're doing it because you want to. I feel like for me, I feel like I'm fulfilling like my God's calling. Like, it's so much bigger than me because I can't stop it. But that's how it is your thing and you're meant to be doing it. Because when I've had the creative blocks that I've just mentioned to you, when I genuinely was like, I am not posting, I am not showing up, I don't want to do this business anymore, it's too much, I'm doing more than what I should be doing as an average, I don't know, single mom working, whatever, it's a lot, I should just stop it.
Make life easier.
And I'm like, who's forcing me to do this? Like, maybe it's too much, maybe it's one of the reasons my mental health is decreased, what I mean, it's one of the reasons I'm not. And then I would literally, I kid you not, Andrew, like I have mentors and I've got friends that are also single moms that do this full time, okay? So they're not in my situation. And they say to me, Diana, you should, that like go and detox. Like, do it, like take a break. You don't have to do any of this. And and then 2 days after, I'm like sharing a reel and then it goes viral. And they're like, I thought you've taken a break. And I'm like, I literally can't. I can't. I love doing it. So even when I feel like life is too much and I'm not feeling great, it's the same as the realization that I told you with movement, right? I was like, oh my gosh, I've never thought that creating content helps me heal. It's one of the tools that I actually use to express. I don't know, it's actually so therapeutic. It's art. I mean, it's my own version of art, but I'm like, this is actually helping me as well. So I can't stop it. I love doing it, even if it doesn't get views, even if it's only me that likes what I'm posting, even if it's purely just for someone else. Like, I think because it's so fulfilling that I mean, I don't know if you've seen my account, but it's grown so much over such a short period of
I've seen it.
time.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I get messages and DMs from women, from especially single moms, every day, and like, I can't stop. You know what I mean? When you see that the video that you've posted that you think no one cares about has actually made a difference in someone else's life, like, there's nothing more fulfilling than just seeing that. And I think every time, even though you don't need to see the metrics, but every time I see, people wanting to see more and people messaging me and people saying, oh, like, I feel so seen. You helped me leave the abusive. I literally get messages saying, you actually have been watching you for a few months or 2 months, and you gave me the strength to leave the relationship. You know what I mean? I'm like, what?
Oh,
And that's not material.
yeah.
Like that's not material. That's not my coaching business. That's not the community that I'm going to be building soon, that I'm going to talk about briefly. But how can you not continue doing
Oh,
it?
everything you've just said, I completely relate to in the sense of podcasting. And I don't know if it was you who said it, but
Mhm.
I want to turn around to you and say, God, I wish mine grew as quick as yours, right? That would be my natural digital
Yeah.
creator head on. Oh God, I wish
Mm.
I had, 26,000 or whatever you've got, 27,000 followers. Of course, we want more followers. Because that means your content gets seen more. However, I didn't set out necessarily to make money on the podcast. I did it because I wanted the passion, like what you said. I'm lucky in my industry. There's a casual setting in the teaching industry where I work every day still as a teacher, but I don't
Yeah.
have the rubbish that goes alongside outside of the physical sense of teaching the children. So I still get to
Mhm.
teach every day. Would I like to do this full time? Because this is a full time gig. I'm not going to lie. I actually work more on the podcast than I do actually in the paid job that I have. And I've just got my first sponsor, believe it or not. However, thank
Congratulations.
you, thank you.
Amazing.
I should mention them. They're called Shoe. It's a skincare company who's a former guest of mine, and he was all over Macy's and Bloomingdale's back in 2010 in the United States.
Oh
But his
wow.
demand got too big; the investors couldn't keep up with it, so it kind of stopped. He's from Denton, Manchester, where I'm from, and I met him here in Melbourne. It's a beautiful story, and I met
That's
up with him last week, and
crazy.
he gave me all the skincare products here. They're at the side of me, and I'm going to do
Oh
some
wow. I love
videos, and
that.
it's all
So did
natural.
you
So
did you did you do it in person? Oh, it was still online.
no, I've actually not done anything yet, but we just met for a coffee, and he presented it
Oh,
to
so
me and said, I
nice.
want to be your sponsor. I want to be your first sponsor."
Oh my
So,
God.
and he's a
That's
friend, so
incredible.
amazing. Yeah, he's a great guy. But it obviously that's to encourage other people to come and sponsor the podcast. That's why he's doing it as well, because he wants it to thrive. And one day I might be able to leave my job to do it. But again, if I focus on that, it's what you said. We burn out.
Mm.
That doesn't come rushing at you. Just taking a very quick break to thank our sponsor, SU Skincare. If you haven't heard of them, SU Skincare started right here in Australia, using Australian ingredients to make skincare straightforward and accessible, especially for men who want results without the fuss. Their journey took them all the way to the US, where they were featured in Macy's and over 300 stores. Now they're back with a fresh approach, focusing on healthy skin and authenticity for everyone. I'm proud to have SU Skincare as a sponsor on Leading Our Own Way. See the show notes for their website and to see how you can keep your skin healthy and confident. And if you're interested in sponsoring like SU Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Now, right back to the episode. If the passion is there and the purpose is there, you'll stick with it. So when you're going through those dip points, I do the same thing. Oh, I'm tired. I'm having a break. I'm going to be taking a break over Christmas.
Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to that break, but it doesn't mean I want to stop it. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to upload little segments every day. I'm still going to do a little bit of work, but it's not the work that I normally do. And I'll have a couple of weeks off and I'll get straight back into it. But I don't know if it was you who said it to me, but it stuck in my mind. Maybe it was,
Mm.
but it feels more recent since we last spoke. I don't know. But somebody said to me, look, just because you're not getting thousands or millions of views, I've had millions of views on certain videos, but I've paid that, the social media to push it out there and promote it, so it hits millions of views. But the ones that are organic, they maybe only get 500 to 1,000 views. But somebody said to me the way he thinks, or you thought, I can't remember who it was, sorry, but they said it's just 500 views more than you had yesterday, and I'm like, fuck. Imagine 500 people. That's like a massive room full of people seeing your stuff from one video, and maybe two videos go out a day. So really,
Yeah.
per day, I'm at 1,000 people are seeing my stuff more than they did yesterday. That's how I'm
Yeah.
looking at it, and I think that's powerful. So if it stays at 1,000 for the next year, I don't care. That's fine. You know.
It is honestly as long as you've got the passion and you're consistent,
Mm-hmm.
all it takes is all it takes is sometimes one viral video for you to just get crazy followers.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with, and when you've been building a body of work, so for example, what you're doing, right? You know, you've got lots of videos and, you know, lots of work, you've introduced so many people. That's when someone's going to hit follow when something goes viral, and it's out of our control, right? Like, obviously there's certain things that, I mean, I think I've mentioned it to you. I've invested in, one of my investments was a program called the Creator College, and it really taught me a lot of things that actually helped me, you know, understand the analytics and increase the chance of going viral. However, if I wasn't consistent and I didn't have the passion and drive, none of it would have ever happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of the things that I think I've shared with you before, one of the things that I've seen, for example, helped me, I think, reach so many more people than some people that, let's say, have gone on the same, the same
path,
program cohort that like I've been on, is that I was okay with being vulnerable, and I was okay with not looking perfect. And I think that's how I was able to connect with so many more women than just, you know, like, because that was me before I started opening up and sharing and, you know, having that clear purpose. I didn't open up. Like, everything was just so vague, everything was just so you know, like, generic. Nothing was really specific, nothing was making anybody feel anything, let's say. And then as soon as I kind of was able to connect people on a different level, which I'm going to share in terms of the story, that's when I started growing, which is crazy. And I think it's more than the strategy. I think it's more of like, I'm okay with sharing the imperfect. I'm okay with letting the vision lead me rather than what I think looks cool and, you know, me looking. So I think what you're doing is exactly what is the right formula, because you're doing it from passion, from purpose. You're staying consistent, you're not giving up. Like, I mean, that's one of my mentors told me. He was like, it's guaranteed, it's just that you don't know when.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way you're not, you know, you're not gonna, like, you've just had your first sponsor. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
you didn't know that it was when it was going to happen, but it did happen.
Yeah.
And I think this is the beauty of doing something, leading your way, and doing something that you've got passion for, regardless of the return of not the return of investment, but regardless of what you're getting back from it.
That's right.
You're still willing to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And everything's organic. And just so I know this will be in March when this gets released, give or take, but we just got top 10% in December on Spotify, just so you know.
Oh, wow. See?
Yeah. Top 10% in the world on video podcasts. Amazing.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
So you're on a top 10% podcast right now.
Well, I feel so honored and privileged. Yeah, that's amazing.
In 1 year, since December 24, we're in 5 countries. Now we're in 47 countries.
Wow.
And that's no money,
crazy.
not really much money's been put into marketing. So that's all completely organic.
Is that people finding you from actual Spotify? Or
yeah, Spotify, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
obviously
wow.
the social media might act as the channel to send them over there, but yeah.
But some is purely from the podcast.
Yeah, well, Spotify sends it out. You could only recently start advertising on Spotify. Before that, you couldn't advertise on Spotify. It would be whatever social platforms you pushed it out on. But Spotify will push it out if your retention's high. And my content is quite long, but I split it up. There's a reason why I split it up. But my retention sits at 85%.
Retention, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why Spotify
But it gives you more content too, though. It gives you more stuff to put out.
Exactly. Yeah. Because memory and retention in people now, I don't really have the power like Stephen Bartlett for somebody to tune in for an hour and a half in one episode. So that's the reason why I split it up. Even though it's the same length, it's psychological, isn't it? Oh, they want to come back on Wednesday. Oh, it's not just one episode before they move on. It's 2, even though it's still one guest. And that format kind of worked for the last year. So, you just, you learn, and one day I might able just to release 1 a week or 2 a week, maybe. Who knows? With you then, so going back to that client that you mentioned on
Yeah.
part the coaching, you said my question at the time was going to ask, tell us where they came, where their mindset was when they came to you to the point that they left. You answered that already, but what? Not
Mm.
that I know this would cost money usually to come to you, but what sort of things did you do to help that? So if someone's tuning in going, I don't know where to begin, I want to be that lady that Diana spoke to. Um, can you give us something there then that would help somebody who's stuck in that same or similar position?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I'll explain the process that we went through, but I also want to mention that that's exactly why I'm actually creating. I'm in the middle of creating a community that's going to
Yeah.
be. It's going to be called the Rebuild Room, and it's literally going to be so affordable, and it's going to be dedicated literally to serve and help as many women and single moms as possible that are healing and potentially wanting to have the confidence to go after their dreams and build a personal brand and a business. And I will share the trainings. They will have access to me. I'll have, live coaching calls. So I'm so passionate about this coming soon, because that's going to be me being able, having a vehicle, some sort of offer that will allow me to support as many women as possible in a personal way still, and in a safe community. Because just the fact that, single moms on the same journey can connect with each other is just so powerful. I wish I had that when I first became a single mom. I think that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I would die to be able to join a community like this. Because the only thing the only thing that I had that was keeping me like less lonely, because for example, when you become that's off topic, but when you become a single mom, when I became a single mom, I didn't have friends that were single moms. I had lost friends. I had just moved back to a city. At the time, I didn't have support. Even when I was going to baby and mom classes, or like something just for moms, classes that were just for moms, I was always the only single mom, and it triggered me, and it was actually making me feel even more lonely. So I would end up stopping. Same with finding friends through apps. None of them were single moms. Oh, it was very difficult to have a single mom that's gone through something similar. And the only way I was feeling less alone, genuinely, is by going and scrolling on TikTok and finding single moms on TikTok. But they didn't have communities, and they didn't even have coaching programs. The ones that I found, they just had some videos, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel so less alone. Like she's experienced something that I'm kind of experiences a little bit. And I think that's where the passion also comes, because I'm like, I know how it feels, and I know that it will definitely help if people find me, obviously. But yeah, in terms of the process that I take through, so she came to me, and she was literally in the position that I was, very similar to the position that I was in 2 years ago. She had just left a toxic relationship, and her son is 1 year old, maybe, like it's very fresh postpartum. And she was just feeling really down, and her only goal was, I want to stop feeling triggered all the time. I want to stop attracting narcissistic people and toxic relationships, and I want to rebuild my self-worth and confidence. That's all she wanted. Like that's what she signed up for. And when we started working together, so what I start looking at is, we go through her current situation. So I look at her day-to-day routine, and I give her different exercises to identify the limiting beliefs that are holding her back right now. Because a lot of us don't really realize what our limiting beliefs are. Like, what is the block that's keeping me from being this woman that's confident, being that woman that is not attracting these kind of relationships. So I would work with her in understanding what are her trauma triggers. So one of the exercises that we do is, you need to, can you keep a track of all the stuff that trigger you, because that's how we understand what's causing her nervous system to be feeling like it's on danger zone, and it doesn't feel safe. And that's usually what happens when you've left a toxic relationship. You're constantly in survival, fight or flight or fawn mode, and you don't realize it. So we work in the first month on literally identifying and releasing the limiting beliefs, but also stabilizing your nervous system so you actually feel safe. So the way we do that is we track it. I give her different, depending on her learning style and what's possible, what she likes and resonates with, whether she's ADHD, not ADHD, etc. Like what different ways that she can actually regulate her nervous system on daily basis, not just when a trigger comes up. So that becomes part of her basically non-negotiable, even if it is dancing, not necessarily EFT tapping or breathing or whatever it is. So we make sure that she's got a toolbox and she knows how to regulate her nervous system so that it's not always I'm triggered and I need to stop reacting. So we heavily focused on that only in the first month.
Love that.
And then we did something that I'm so passionate about that I'm also going to try to do. I do it as a one-off session, and I also do it as part of the one-to-one coaching program, but I'm going to be doing it in a group setting somehow in the community. But one of the biggest tools to release a limiting belief that's holding you back subconsciously is not just through affirmations and meditation and all of these things that you see online in the manifestation world. That helped me personally and helped my client is NLP. So I do neuro-linguistic reprogramming belief breakthrough session, and it's basically a session where we identify the biggest limiting belief that's holding that person back in their current situation. So if it is relationships, let's say I believe that love means pain. That's the only way I see love, let's say. So I help her identify that through the exercise, and I need to, because sometimes it's so difficult for you to even like figure out what is the limiting beliefs. So, the limiting belief. So we figure that out, we identify it, and then through accessing her subconscious mind, we go through a whole 3-step process where we literally access that limiting belief and we get a blueprint of it, exactly how it looks like from a subconscious point of view. And then we basically release it and replace it with we install a new empowering belief. And it's a 3-step process, which I don't want to go into too much detail, but it's so powerful that the client feels the shift literally on the call. So they will either cry, they will feel like that, like just so much more relaxed, and they will feel the shift energetically straight away. And then they don't realize it, but subconsciously it has imprinted, it's made a shift. And then all they need to do is continue embodying and reminding their body and themselves every single day of that new belief that this is my new story now, right? So for example, I'm worthy of healthy and happy love doesn't have to be painful, whatever it is. So they end up believing in that. Like they literally, the shift is crazy, because I do an exercise that I would start the session with, which is kind of like, give me an image that comes to mind when when I tell you this belief, right? And then at the end of the session, I ask the same question and they're like, I can't see it anymore. So I see it in real time, and they start talking about the women that how they would operate knowing that that limiting belief doesn't exist anymore. Like it's so powerful. They literally tell me that. Like they literally say it. Okay, I see myself, being so happy, and they say it from their own mouth, So, and then their only responsibility after the session is to keep reminding themselves that. How do they do it? They do it through affirmation. They do it through different things that they can do to for the subconscious reprogramming. It could be affirmation tapes. It could be EFT tapping with using these affirmations, self-talk, mirror work. A lot of it comes down to self-talk. And
Rewiring
also
of the brain, isn't it?
Yeah, rewiring. Yeah, basically, yeah. So we work on, identifying, releasing into beliefs, stabilizing your nervous system, and then rewiring. So it's rewire and regulate, and then it becomes part of their daily habit. So naturally, from doing this with her, she did we move on to get very clear on a future version of you, like the future version of you. So, how does she look like? What is it that you want to get to by the end of the year or next year, whatever? So then we bridge the gap, and suddenly her confidence increases, right? She starts seeing possibilities that she's never seen before. And she would literally come to me and say, I want to pursue my art. I've always dreamt of doing more art. And I was like, let's do it. And she starts to do it. And then, I hold her accountable, and she starts doing it as part of her daily routine just for a few minutes. And she ends up doing it for like half an hour, like painting. She's so talented every day. And then suddenly she was open to sharing her story as a single mom. I was like, for me, I was like, oh my gosh, like this.
Love that.
Yeah, I love it. And then my other client, she actually like launched an actual physical wellness business, like an actual business, and she's a single mom too. And she's also posting content, but it just shows how powerful it is to do this work. And that only happened in 2 months.
Wow.
Like imagine being surrounded by, more people, more community, or even doing this on a longer basis. Obviously, in terms of the personal branding side of the strategy, it will be a lot more focused in the one-to-one. But the whole foundation is, I mean, you know how it is, right? Like a strategy can only lead you to a certain thing, whether it's in business, content, whatever it is. If you don't believe in yourself, nothing will work. Like someone can hand you this is why you see the same people invest in the same program, but then two people smash out their results, and then the other two don't get many results. Well, it doesn't mean that this person got more support, or it doesn't mean that this person got different material, different strategy. It's literally the only difference is this person's beliefs about themselves, about what they think about, their relationship with success, their relationship with I don't know if it's content, fear of being seen, all of these things. If you have that, no amount of strategy in the world will help you speak on camera or share your story or be vulnerable or be consistent. It's just going to be very difficult. So yeah.
I've got one for you. As a strategy not a strategist. Well, yeah, I suppose it is a morning routine. Let's say, because I actually do want to ask you about your morning routine, and it comes up because I know we touched on it on the pre-chat a few months ago.
Yeah.
But the Gavin Patterson, who went out he went out on my birthday, actually, 1st of December. Our journey is very much aligned with toxic workplaces, workplace bullying. He was in the police, high up in rifle shooting. Anyway, he said to me, it sounds crazy, it sounds bizarre, and he helps some of his clients like this, and he says he gets them to smile as soon as they conscious kind of wake up. Their still eyes might be still closed, but their brain's kind of waking up, and he tells them he wants them to smile. And he says, as crazy and as weird that would look if somebody was watching you, but he said, just angle that mouth to smile in the morning before you do anything, before you open your eyes up, if you can do it. And if you do open up first, fine, still smile, because the brain doesn't know what you're smiling at, but it knows you're smiling. So it's kind of training the brain to change the trajectory of where your mindset might potentially go that day. And I thought, I mean, look, I'll admit, I'm still trying to train my brain to actually remember to do it in the morning. This is not easy. But I mean, how amazing and simple and free does that, like, it's just incredible. Like, it's so incredible. True. Yeah. And it's so simple. And I just never remembered. I've just never forgotten it since he's told me, to be honest. So I'm still trying to smile. But, the first thing, again, you reach for your phone, don't you, to see what everything's doing. Yeah, you got to remember it, but stop reaching for the phone as well. There was something else I wanted to mention there before the morning routine, but I think I've forgotten. Oh, it's like the knowledge thing. Everything we've been talking about is knowledge, but the saying knowledge is power. Well, it's not. It's so wrong. Knowledge is only powerful if you actually use it.
Actually do it. Yeah, use it. Yeah.
We can have all the knowledge in the world and it can sit there, but if we just let it sit there, and it's pointless, isn't it? You might as well not have wasted your time. Before we get into the personal journey of where your life began and where we paint a picture personally for you, your morning routine, your life is so busy, and I can't imagine. I have support with my children, and I know you're doing your thing, and it's so unbelievable where you do find the extra time. But you have a bit of a morning routine. Tell us a little bit about that before your son wakes up.
Yeah, so just briefly touching on the smiling thing.
Oh yeah,
Actually, one of the things that I tell my clients on the back of the NLP session is that the first thing in the morning and the last thing before they go to sleep, they need to say this phrase of their new belief, at least for the first 7 days. So it's similar to the smiling thing, but it's literally for the same reasons.
like that.
Because it's that powerful, yeah. So my morning routine, honestly, like mine is very simple because I actually still co-sleep with my son. So sometimes he would be awake, sometimes he would be sleeping. I can't really control that, but it's very simple. So I've actually started something recently. We've just touched on it. I used to get tempted to use my phone, randomly when I wake up because I have broken sleep as well. And like maybe in the morning, even if I do my morning routine, and I found a solution that I started recently. So I'm gonna share it.
Please.
I literally bought a clock because I bought a physical clock that doesn't have ticking noise, and now I don't, because obviously you need your phone for alarm, right? Like in general, you can't.
Do we?
People. Well, now you don't, but for me, I was like, oh, I can't leave it in a different room because I need to put my alarm on for different reasons. But then
Buy
I
one of the
bought this
old clocks
clock.
with the alarms then. Huh?
But that's what I did. That's what I did. I bought a
There you
clock.
go.
Yeah, I bought a
Yeah.
clock, and now I leave my phone in a different room so that before, literally, when I know I'm gonna get ready for sleep, and in the morning I can't even reach my phone because it's addictive, isn't it? With the
Yeah.
algorithm and everything that's
Yeah.
happening,
Yeah.
especially when you already do it for business, it's just so hard. So that's been massive for me. So I don't struggle with that, but my morning routine and night routine is very, very simple and very similar now, which is I literally start my day with like God's word. Very I'm actually taking my like Bible study very seriously now. So I've always started it with, reading a little bit of the Bible or prayer or just setting an intention, even if it is just one affirmation. So if I don't do anything, I always make sure that the last sentence in my mind, the last thing in my mind before I go to sleep is like some sort of positive affirmation, or like something that I'm grateful about, prayer, gratitude, because this is what your subconscious meditates on for the whole night, when your subconscious is wide awake at night. So because I know that, I make sure that whatever, even if I can't do like a whole journaling, or because obviously ideally I would want to do more, but just one sentence, whether it's a prayer of gratitude or some sort of umbrella affirmation. So you know um everything always works out in my favor. Like something very simple, and then I just sleep. And then in the morning, it's the same thing. I set an intention for the day. I'm grateful for the bed that I'm sleeping on. My son's happy and healthy next to me. I'm grateful for the business and the clients that I have. Obviously, if I can do a bit of reading, I read, even if it's literally just one sentence of the Bible, and that's it. Because I don't have the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
literally I don't have the time. Like I used to I think I said this to you. I used to want to do like a 6 a.m. runs every morning, but I was like, okay, that's just not gonna happen.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's just not gonna happen.
Very hard.
But you just have to adapt. If you can't get up early because of your kids or because of your work or whatever, I don't believe that you need to be up at 5 a.m. and do something crazy to be able to be successful or manifest something or make something happen. I genuinely don't think that's the case. I actually, and I don't know about you, but like my creativity window as well is late at night. I'm a night owl. So like in general, people operate differently. And that's the thing that I'm so passionate about as well. Like people are just, everybody's so different. Some people get so creative and productive at night, like me. It doesn't mean you have to stay up till 3 a.m., obviously, but it's like, especially if you're a mom that can't get up in the morning. But I am grateful. I actually have support from my mom. Like now, I have support from my family, so I'm not always with my son 24/7. So I'm grateful for that because it does really help me when when I need to get my head down. So I'm grateful for that. But I know exactly how it is when you don't have support at all, because I've been there.
Yeah, it's
So
hard,
yeah.
isn't it? I don't have a choice really. Everything I do tends to be after work or in the evening. Sometimes in the morning, probably like now at the weekend. What I have been doing is taking my laptop to work and doing things free times. Like at recess break. It's called break. Break time in England. It's
Oh,
recess
okay.
here. Recess and lunch. I would chip away at things. I make lists of what I need to do that might only take me 5 minutes. But if I was sitting here procrastinating, it could take me an hour. So at school, I'll just get on with it at lunchtime when I have a break and the kids are out. I'll just get on with it, get little things done. The bigger jobs I might do in the evening, but they're not, I can lash them out pretty quick now because it's all myelinated in the head. I've got quick at my job, with the podcasting stuff. So, it's the next level, isn't it? To get to the next level, you need to implement something else, whether it's sponsorship or whether it's chase a sponsorship. But I don't have the physical time, so I'd love to get it to a point where I can take a day off a week to do it, and then maybe 2 weeks and just chip away and enjoy it and take the stress away. But at least I can still build it, right? Anyway, yeah. Well. Let's go back to the beginning for you then, Diana, because I think it's important we share. It's like the filling in of the gap part. We know what you're doing and we know where you stand. We can see what your purpose is. We can see what you stand for, but you've been on a journey to get to this point. So let's kind of fill in the timeline. Let's go back to where you grew up. Just paint a picture of a little bit of your childhood, where you came from, and then we'll go into the parts of where your journey behind your purpose began.
Yeah, of course. So I grew up I grew up in Syria.
Well, that's the end of part one with Diana. Her journey is a powerful one, isn't it? Definitely a powerful one. Please leave any comments, by the way, if you've got something to share. But it's a reminder that our struggles can become the foundation for our greatest strengths. As someone who's faced my own challenges, I know how important it is to keep moving forward, even when the road is real tough. If this episode resonated with you, though, please follow the show and share it with someone who could use a little inspiration today. Remember, your journey matters, your story matters, and so does your healing. Stay tuned for part 2, where we go even deeper into Diana's transformation and her mission to empower others. Until then, there's got Tuesday Truths tomorrow, and part 2, we're back with Diana on Wednesday. Keep leading your own way, and we'll see you then. Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.